Hi everyone. Hi Linda. Well, let's talk about what's going on as we speak. We're just a little bit away from further from the eclipse, the eclipse that happened
82 days till
82 days.
midterm.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the news that has been swirling around has been pretty consistently negative for Trump because if it's not some setback, like for instance, every time that there's a legal anything, it gets turned back, big ones, small ones. And then this latest thing that now is being talked about, which, you were just telling me about how Giuliani is making announcements about Mamdani and this kind of thing. And what I remember Giuliani most for, and he basically proves to me proves to me that this man is nothing but a lizard, is the way he treated Ruby and Shane Moss. You remember that whole incident? Can you
Oh, it's
imagine doing that to a
terrible what he
person, like just
did.
making it up whole cloth? You're
Yeah,
affecting someone's life. And now Trump, we hear that he leaves the plane and he sets up the press like everybody to be killed. I mean, that might end up getting investigated once they lose the House and the Senate, which is really likely, House minimum, Senate probably. That's going to get investigated,
it's
and
going to be
I hope
I'm
that they
telling you.
make that is so cowardly.
May I say this? That's why his press secretary quit. She couldn't believe he left her on that plane, knowing full well that someone in Turkey had a launcher and that she could have died. And she was furious. They're showing pictures they took of her kind of like through some sort of hole that she's sitting there talking to Trump, and she was furious. So I'm sure she thought, because I thought to myself, wait a second, she just quit.
Yeah,
And, you know, but there's something else to this. This isn't like, oh, I want to go raise my family. There's something else to this. And I kept picking up Iran, but I thought, what the hell would Iran have? Maybe she's scared about Iran making all these vicious things that they're telling people. But what it was that she found out he took her diaper changer. He took the diaper changer with him on the other plane, but he left her, a new mom with two kids, sitting there. We're getting ready to be blown up.
well, I mean, how many times have we seen his own supporters suddenly discover, oh yeah, he really is a liar and he really is a scoundrel. Oh yeah, he really is a like, you know, honestly, I guess you got to see your life pass before your eyes, right? Before you realize that this
There you
person
go.
he'd throw you in the pit of hell if he could make a gain for himself. Like normally, you look at the people in our history, like George Washington, Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt. These are the kind of people they would think, wait a second, you can't leave those people, even politically. I mean, even thinking, say you're really like Richard Nixon style. No, really, it's all about me. But even then, Nixon would have thought, nah, that's not going to work because when they start talking about it, they're going to call me a coward, right? So even that eludes him because he's just ultra
Right.
focused on whatever he's doing.
He didn't
Oh,
even give
yeah.
those people an option. He said, look, we're a little worried. We're going to secretly pull me out of here. And I would suggest you guys get hotel rooms.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're putting everybody's life at risk like that.
Oh, she was furious. You could tell. And I said, that makes sense because I did not feel her stepping down to kumbaya, raise the kids. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And I mean, that's sort of the rule that almost always when something happens, look to something that recently took place to get your information instead of imagining things. And that is the press corps, so that would make a lot of sense. And that's
That
in the
broke
U.
her heart. Yeah.
It's in the U.S. chart, by the way, because the U.S. chart, that eclipse is in the media zone part of the chart. So it's that, although you can bring in, because it's an international, see, the in astrology, the media axis is also the international foreign country part of, so it all kind of fits that the scandal would be around that something took place, the media releases it because he probably hates the idea that it's being revealed that he got into a food cart or whatever it was to escape the trouble. Yeah,
Thanks for the
but
visual and the smell.
yeah, no, I know, but I mean, bottom line though, like nearly everything, and you know, you see the Janine Pirro thing, he's still in there. You gotta go after this guy. So she's gonna do. some kind of special jury. It's so laughable because this is where you see that the system is holding up, because when it goes to the juries and to the courts, they say, like, what do you got here? You got nothing. What do you want us to do?
Right, but then they lie to the jurors and tell them a totally different story. And thank goodness the judges will say, I want to see the jurors, I want to see the paperwork. And then all of a sudden they drop it.
Yeah, no, again, there's a real person there, someone who is an ex-Olympian canoeist, and he's in the middle of all that. You have this guy hung up spending money. Now, usually these things backfire on you, because once you make a person like this more famous, now lawyers will work for free because it gives them publicity. And my guess is that if this orange idiot survives, don't be surprised if, which I don't know if he will, by the way, because it's starting to look more and more dicey for him. But
You were saying his chart looks bad.
yeah, he's in a zone where first pass is right around the end of the year, and then it does another tour through there next year as well, like in the like late spring. It goes through there again just before the summer. So that's a zone where, yeah, things can really go wrong. Um, but the point is that with these legal things, you keep pushing like this. What do you want to bet that this guy is going to end up suing the government and making a bunch of money for defamation? You know, the way they're treating him, because they're making things up. And
Oh,
lawyers,
he's already starting his lawsuit. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's just an embarrassment all around. But this is what we have. I mean, it's funny that he always refers to other people as bad or sick. I've never seen a sicker person. Did you hear the latest that, you know, how they told him to take the name off the that building? You know, he had,
Kennedy Center.
that's right. So they told him to take it off. So his first solution is he puts a tarp in front so that now you can't see the name of anybody, because that's a way to get around it, right? Now he's saying that he wants them to etch in the building that he is the one that reconstructed it, that he did. He's determined, you know, to do this. I just hope whoever replaces this guy, everything that he's done,
They're
take
going
it
to
all down.
remove it. Yeah.
Yeah, start with the gold. You know, have a gold sale, because gold is, if it's gold, because maybe it might not be gold, it might be fake. But if it's real gold, melt it all and sell it for whatever you can get for an ounce, and then you know, everything else, because it's so preposterous what he's done. You know, yeah.
And he just keeps worried about his little things he wants to do. He wants to cut down all them cherry trees and do a golf course.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, and he's more interested in the ballroom and in the pet projects, the reflecting pool, all the rest. But the fact that we get an eclipse triggers, like, he's Leo rising, so the eclipse is across his house of self, house of relationships. I don't see anything good here. Like, one of the things around that is it highlights that the deal he tries to make with Iran is not working. Like, you know, it's like your alliances and your enemies, the way you're relating. To me, do you see anything positive for Trump?
Nothing.
No,
Nothing.
including that, even the stuff that's happened, they were pretty lucky breaks. That election in Wisconsin, they were expecting the more problematic character, you know, the Hung, the
Hong, Hong.
yeah, they thought if she won, you know, it could be risky. So then the other guy swoops in and ekes out a victory. That almost felt pretty lucky, but the Republicans were salivating, hoping, oh, we'll be able to run against her. So even events like that are turning against him. I mean, nothing seems to be working. I'm tracking it carefully now, because there's a zone now where Jupiter's going to contact planets, and I want
Yeah.
to see what it does, because that'll give me a sense of, for later, the kind of thing that
Okay.
it, you know, because later, meaning in October, there's more full contact, right? But everything you see, I mean, I saw the polls this morning. They're losing everywhere. Like Iowa, I thought that, you know, they have that blonde woman, you know, her name is Hinson, I think, and
Yeah.
she's the she's the power candidate because she's known and so forth. The other guys had 4 points in Iowa, right? Sherrod Brown has an 8 point lead in Ohio.
In Ohio. Oh
Now,
my God, I
yeah,
love
now
it.
that may not stick, but the way polls work is that the bigger the number, the more likely you are to win, even if you win by two. Who cares, right? And
Right.
you remember Plattner, Plattner was behind, but because of all the scandals, he was down a little with Collins. The other guy's down a little ahead. This Troy
Okay.
Jackson, he's got a 2 or 3 point lead. So pretty well. And Texas, Tallarico is ahead of
Oh, Tallarico is way ahead of Paxton.
yeah, well, not way ahead. Texas is close. It's a 2 point lead. Texas is
Oh,
going to
I
be.
thought it was bigger than that.
Well, the last one I saw,
Yeah.
it could be, but I mean, overall, look, it's the logic that someone that I heard, someone I respect a lot because they're very good at politics, said people forget that Beto was never ahead. Beto was just close. Whenever they would do polls, he'd be behind one, behind two, behind one, behind two, three, one, two, like low. And we thought, oh, maybe he's gonna. No, he couldn't make it. So you always want to be ahead in the polls. That's important because that consistency tells you there's a problem there, right? And Texas would be the death blow. You know, if you take that, yeah, a big problem. And so, uh, again, all bad news. So, what do you see with this, by the way? Because this is so critical. What do you see with him, his attempts to cheat and his success rate?
I see him attempting. I'm not going to say he doesn't, but this is what I see, and we can well, we won't know until the voting. I see an amount of people coming out so huge that he can't.
He can't cheat, right? Yeah.
I see the amount of people. Let me tell you, I also saw people marching big time when our president Biden dies. And I think it'll be maybe the beginning of next year. As you know, he's really sick and the cancer's in his bones and stuff. And if he's disruptive or nonchalant or doesn't have staff the flag and act like, yeah, no big deal, people will march and be furious at him.
Yeah, you know, and this is again the notion that you're paying attention to what's happening, and you see it's almost like a wave of the way things are
Yeah.
going. And this thing about a lot of people showing up, I was listening to someone describe the numbers, and they were saying that all these elections, you're getting way more Democrats
Oh,
showing up.
yeah.
So you know that this is like what's happening. The Republicans, a lot of them are discouraged. Wouldn't you be? Like you have your
Oh, hell yeah.
guy is BSing you, and then you go to the store.
And
Don't
you
tell me
try to
that
get gas. Yeah.
inflation is definitely up. I've
And,
noticed.
and wait till winter comes and people try to get their houses warm. It's going to be awful.
Yeah, I mean these are real metrics, and now there's the hospitals closing down. They're taking away more health care, and he seems to think that the solution is more ice instead of less ice. He keeps like now they're gonna have gloves apparently that
Gloves.
they can shock you to to grab you or
I
whatever.
don't see that. I don't know when they're going to get those, but I don't see it lasting very long. And I don't know why I don't see it lasting very long.
Well, I wonder why, because probably there'll be stories, and then you'll see a woman
Or maybe
falling.
even lawsuits and that judges put
Yeah,
a freeze on it.
it's just it's like I've never seen more. This is so tone deaf, so unattuned to the environment. Like how do you? The whole idea of the politician is tune in, figure it out. Don't say that there's no affordability problem. Yeah, there is, because you can see it.
He doesn't like that word affordability.
Well, the curious thing
That's
is
made
that,
up. We made that word up.
and you can play him in videos in the 24 election, repeating that word over and over when it was, because he was telling people, oh, it's Biden's fault. Everything is, we got to
Yeah.
make it more affordable. And suddenly, I don't want to talk about affordability. So,
Yeah.
bottom line, the situation around that is terrible. And I continue to be optimistic about what comes. It's just that the point is, though, that doesn't mean it solves all the problems, because
Right.
you can't change the government until 2028. You can't. They're still going to have the
No,
presidency.
that's what I tell everybody because people are saying, this and that. I said, you know what? You can bitch till the cows come home, but until he's out of there, we're pretty much stuck.
Yeah, or even if he's out and they put in JD or whoever, I'm sure people will be nervous and for good reason and so forth. But you just gotta.
And I also want to bring up another checkpoint that Lindsey Graham's sister, she got numbers, but not that great. They're not
that
coming
good.
out to vote for Lindsey Graham's sister.
I could see that. Yeah, yeah. No, this is it's the consequence of the top of the ticket, the top. Trump. he's causing everything, everywhere to be a problem, right? And to make matters worse, the people that are around him, like in the Congress, they don't seem to realize. Like, I would have called them in by now and said, "We're not doing this anymore. You're taking our jobs away. This is
I
not
know.
cool."
I can't believe it. Cassidy.
Oh
Jesus.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought he would have done the right thing. Then he turned around and voted Blanche in.
Nah, I mean the quality. Look, the quality of people in the current period. This is the most discouraging thing. Just cowardice, stupidity. It's brutal, brutal. The people that are
And they
there.
keep saying, but a lot of, including Jamie Raskin, a lot of my other colleagues from the other side are just saying, but we're so scared of him, we can't do anything.
Yeah, well, I guess because with Trump, then people start getting death threats and all that, right? Because
Yeah,
but I mean,
Trump is bully.
in the meantime, you've got, all these people that they're leaving a terrible legacy for themselves, the way they're behaving, and they lost their job. Like Cassidy, he's gone now. So is Tillis. But
Yeah, and he turned on them. He turned on them.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, um, have you taken a look-see at Blanche?
Well, with Blanche, okay, so I said a number of times that, but he's got the Jupiter in this zone, and I thought he probably would be confirmed. Then we went back and forth, Nathan and I, yes, no, but either way, we sort of felt he's going to be there no matter what. But I think the Jupiter helped him to actually get the confirmation. Beyond that, that helps him for about till like the middle of next year, and then it stops helping as much. Well, why the question? What are you asking about? Whether
I
he,
just want to know, does his church show him? I see him going face first. I think his license will actually get pulled.
uh, well, the only thing with that is the timing, right?
Yeah.
Um, let's see, Todd Blanche. So, well, okay, I will say that. Uh, I'll say that next year it is really, it is really stressful next year for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
and that's where the Jupiter energy is helpful till about the middle. Yeah, then it starts to shift. But this always happens to people like this too. Like they either break laws or get way too close to really bad behavior. It's why Giuliani lost his license because he was doing blatant crazy things, and the same with that Eastman guy, right?
Yeah.
So
And lying to the judge.
that's right. And then what ends up happening is that a guy like Trump, if he doesn't forget to do it at a critical moment, and then it doesn't get done, right? But let's say that he pardons everybody because he probably will try to pardon everybody. But those pardons don't save you from your license. Your license is the bar, and the bar doesn't like people that are doing what Janine Pirro is doing, which is why Janine Pirro, by the way, backed off.
Yeah. And also the people that worked with her said, we're going to lose our license if we keep going.
Correct, and what she's doing now is still putting her license at risk. And this Blanche guy, the way he's behaving, yeah, as the Department of Justice, leader, as the confirmed Attorney General, this is the thing that people are always talking about, weaponization of the DOJ. It's only weaponization if you're making it up, right? Like putting Jim Comey in court. That's stupid weaponization. What are you doing? You're not going to get, or like this thing with the canoeist. What are you doing? A big mistake. But if you prosecute someone and you put them in jail, that means you had evidence. That's not weaponization. When they're accusing Biden's DOJ put all those January 6 people in jail because they had evidence. They went to the judge and they said,
They were before a jury of their peers.
correct. Yeah. So I'm hoping the next president just says, look, you know what? You broke the law. You're going to get prosecuted.
There
That's
you
it.
go. Because I don't think they can pardon if you did law breaking stuff. I
Yeah.
thought that was part of the thing.
Exactly. So yeah. So I would say with this guy, we just gotta wait him out. Same with RFK. RFK, he is right now really hurting himself because in July, August, a lot of information is coming out that is really bad. And he doesn't have an explanation. He tries to blame someone else for the measles. No, the measles went up under your guy,
Oh
watch
yeah, he's
because
saying it's not his fault. Yep.
yeah, nothing is his fault. He's like Trump. But there's the measles, there's all the bad food, right? And now they're changing the vaccine rules. That's another thing. When you're doing politics, your first question should be, what does the public think about this? Vaccines have an approval rating in the high 70s. Don't
Yeah.
touch that. Don't. Stay out of there. This guy is going to go with the 15%. You know, I know that people, even on my channel and yours probably, that they don't like vaccines. Just realize you're in the minority. Most people, by the way, you can't send your child to school most of the time if they're not vaccinated.
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because you'll cause an outbreak.
But
That's
I heard Trump's executive action on this vaccine thing doesn't hold water. Apparently, it doesn't change things. That's what I heard.
Well, in the longer term, nothing does when it's an executive order. But you see what he's doing. This is the typical Trump thing: is he causes people to lose confidence in things. You know, if the leader says something like, you remember that thing in 2020 when he said, "Hey, maybe we could throw some light and some bleach," and then people were doing it. There were people that drank the bleach and ended up in the ER. That's why
Oh my
leaders, what they say is,
Or take the horse medicine. Oh my
yeah,
God.
exactly. All those things that they're being remember, don't take Tylenol. I'm amazed that Tylenol didn't sue him because of how hard he was going at it with no evidence. And they're quoting, this is the thing. Okay, what do you do to decide what is my decision going to be? If someone shows you a study with 1 million children and they tell you this is the result we got, you should trust that more than a study with 12 children, which is what RFK is quoting. He's saying there's this 1998 thing with 12. Come on, man, like be serious, okay? This is not serious. This is not serious healthcare. This is basically crazy. It's completely
Yeah.
crazy, So I think that he's another one that in one way or another, his life between now, like for the next year, is not good at all because he's getting massive Saturn hits,
Oh, good.
I don't know if he's going to get fired or not because it looks like with Trump, it looks like he's only firing women too. He hasn't fired any of the men. I don't know if you noticed that, but
Oh, I didn't even notice.
I
Yeah.
don't think any man has lost his like the person that should lose his job immediately is Hegseth, but he keeps him there. So and
Yeah.
how good is he looking?
How's Hedgehog's chart look?
It's under pressure, under a lot of pressure. Wouldn't yours be if people are telling you, well, look at the war, it's not working. Now they're saying you don't have enough munitions.
You
They have
don't have
bad
enough
excuses.
food to feed your Navy. And I was already hearing from mothers. One of them was Tripoli, the USS Tripoli. None of the care packages she sent her son came through. She didn't get any of them returned. They're acting like they never got it. Just simple things like soap, toothbrush, toothpaste. And then he sent her pictures of what he was eating, and it was unbelievably meager. And the guy came back after over a year out at sea, 30 pounds lighter.
It's so crazy. I mean, if you think of a person with a brain, which this guy doesn't have one, obviously, he's sitting in the White House, the reflecting pool. I got to go after the canoeist. Just think for a minute, okay? That thing where you spent millions of dollars on that stupid pool. Just make a call and say, send some food to that destroyer and feed those soldiers. Like what the hell? So they'll stop talking about me. I'm telling you, man. This guy, he's losing.
Yeah,
He's
they're
losing
not
his mind.
making any motion towards it. The Navy's sending things, of course, their captains eat well. Apparently, this is hearsay, but apparently there was a list of all the things the captains get. Lobster, prime rib, all that stuff. So they eat well, and the rest of the guys get hardly nothing.
Well, the problem you have though is when it gets in the news. It's why this guy hates. He just hates the media. And I always remind people that, if you look at the entire history of the world, all of it, this here is the most media anyone has ever gotten. So don't complain too much because you're getting stories you shouldn't be hearing. I often, when I hear someone complain bitterly, I'll say, well, at least you're hearing about it. Because if you're in Nazi Germany, you're not going to hear
You
anything.
want to hear a word. And they
Yeah.
kept their mouth shut too.
Of course, yeah. So the whole point is that the media is so important to protect the democracy because they tell you, he would want it hidden that he got put in a food cart because that makes him look bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't want to hear about a boat in the middle, whatever. And they apparently soldiers are thinking about killing themselves too.
They're jumping off the ship.
Jumping off the ship, yeah. So I mean, all of that is very bad, very bad press. And how far are we away because, now everything is
Oh, and
linked,
there's
right?
no Wi-Fi on the ship, by the way.
Right. So pretty soon, what do you want to bet that Iran will be putting, Twitter posts and stuff mocking, the fact that this is happening? Because again, like unlike the old days, everything's connected now, so people control you if they can do things to embarrass you. So the whole thing is
Oh,
totally terrible. And the bottom line to it too is that he himself made it happen. All this guy had to do, very simple. When he came into office, don't touch anything. Now, then he would have started stealing because that's what he does, but that would be one problem, right? Now it's the fact that he's stealing, plus the tariffs, plus the war. So everything is a mess, right? Like the
right.
Hispanics were on his team until they saw their own people being attacked by ICE and so forth. The whole policy thing is going to make you unpopular, but he didn't have to do that. He's
No, and
so,
all these poor people that were up there dancing and singing for Trump, the Hispanic community, and he just turned on all of them.
yeah. And then they turned on him, because now the gains he made with Hispanics and with young people completely evaporated. They're
I
gone.
know.
They go, which is again, why, if you ask yourself, why are these polls saying what they're saying? Why are you seeing red states, places where you're not supposed to be? Democrats aren't supposed to be closing Kansas. That's not supposed to happen. And all of a sudden, oh yeah, look, Kansas, maybe Iowa. Iowa's been red since Obama. Obama
Well,
was the one that.
remember, Iowa's the one Elon Musk threw all that money
Mhm.
into to get that judge to make sure we got a MAGA judge in there. But the Democratic judge won. Remember that?
No,
He spent millions.
that was Wisconsin.
Oh, was it Wisconsin? Sorry.
Wisconsin, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, yeah, right. Which I mean, that by the way, again, controversial topic, but no one has ever explained to me this. People said he had magical powers with Starlink. He rigged the machines. Well, if he rigged the machines for the general election, why wouldn't he rig the machines for Wisconsin? Come on, like don't just think things through. He would have done it obviously because it's easy, right? Just push the
Right.
button.
And
I mean,
also he's nice to Trump because he gets his money from Trump.
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. And money is important, and apparently that's one of the problems right now. The Democrats are short on money and the Republicans have a lot of money. So you use money to lie and make up stories and call the Democrats communists and all that stuff, right? But money doesn't always win. Money, people can start tuning it out. When you compare, you hear a guy telling you a message, blah, blah, blah. Democrats are, socialists, they're communists. Yeah, well, and you guys look at the gas, right? Look at the prices. So, I mean, they're telling me they want to fix that. You don't seem to be interested. You have
Yeah,
no interest you say it doesn't even exist, that it's a made up
exactly.
story, right? Like I'm not seeing what I'm seeing. So,
I
that's
really
the,
worry about winter coming because the housing to be able to heat your house is going to cost an arm and a leg.
yeah, and I mean, look, if we can, I think the odds are getting so strong of doing a big turnaround in the Congress. And even though that doesn't solve everything, it's a big step. It really is. It's a step in the right direction. And you just got to go from there, one step at a time, solve that problem first. And I'm glad that you say that you intuit that the attempt, but not the, like, what kind of thing might he do? You have a sense of what he might try to pull off to try to
Who?
stop it? Trump, like to try to,
Oh, they're going to try to shut it down and call an emergency. But you know what's going to keep things going is the courts.
the courts. Yeah. Yeah.
The courts, thank God, we've got good judges, even judges he put in there, and saying hail to the no.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I mean what do you see with the one coming up? They haven't ruled yet, which I think to me is pretty obvious, but what do you see with the he asked the Supreme Court about the to rule on the mail-in voting, that's it's
Oh,
supposed
they're
to
going to say, yeah, they're not going to tell him, yeah, no mail-in voting. And they're not going to let the post office try to throw
well
something.
then
I don't see any of that. He's going to be furious, but I don't care.
well, then I mean when you look at all this, I mean as you can feel the narrowing of options, and then it's like how you said, if the numbers are big enough, then you come in with like what emergency? You know, emergencies, like when Lincoln declared an emergency, there was an emergency. Like it was
Yeah.
actually happening, right? I'm actually watching that Life of Lincoln, and I didn't know. Your mind tunes it out. You kind of, oh yeah, Lincoln, whatever. He didn't get a moment's rest because he got elected, and then he was at war till the day he died. And not just like he's the president and the army's fighting. He was like inside the tents talking to the generals,
Oh, I
worried
know.
sick about what was happening, worried because a lot of people were dying, like in the
You see
hundreds of
his face,
thousands.
how much it changed in
Oh
those
yeah,
years.
yeah. So I mean, this was a real struggle, and so he used some of these executive powers, but they were for an actual situation. Like Trump just makes it up. He says, "Well, we've got a big emergency." Like what emergency? He was doing tariffs, saying that this is an emergency tariff. Why? Like
Yeah,
what's
and then the
happening?
Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that. And he's still doing it.
Oh yeah, no, but that's also Trump is one of the ways to understand him is which he doesn't realize he's very self-destructive. He because he's so hung up on his narcissistic ego. It's like this thing with the name. No, you can't put your name. Oh, I'm going to find a way. See, I'm going to put a tarp. So now screw you. And I'm going to say put another thing where I restore the building. In some way, he's got to do it the way he wants. He
Right.
refuses. But there are things that are better. Just leave it alone. Walk away. It's simpler. It'll make your life.
Well, yeah, because we're really getting down to the times. It's not like it was before when we were thinking, dear God, we're really getting down to the hour and soon he'll be gone. I'm telling you, I don't see him making it to the end of his term. Not necessarily passing away, just not being able to be president because people are just so done with him.
Well, I know that in fact, I didn't say this until I saw it. I did a class, and when I was doing the class, I'm preparing it, and that's when I made that thing where I said that FDR, how it's the Jupiter cycle, right? And Trump is on that very cycle now, where Jupiter, there are points in your life where it's like literally the exit planet, and he's in that zone because it's surrounded. His chart is surrounded in a major siege by all the other planets, right?
And that how FDR's chart before he crossed?
Yeah, FDR, like what happened with FDR was that on the previous Jupiter pass, he got elected. That was 1932. He got exactly 12 years. And
Oh,
then he left. And the previous one to the one where he got elected was what he ran as a partner to someone and he became known. So then that's why he was able to run in 32 because people knew who he was. That's what
okay.
politicians do. They want to be known. So then when they really run, they go, oh yeah, I know that guy. I've seen his face and so forth. But
Right.
and then in 1945, he was so exhausted from
He
the
just couldn't
pressures,
last.
so he didn't make it. Yeah, that's the logic.
And he had polio too, which doesn't help. But listen, one of my favorite things about him is, when the Supreme Court worked against him left and right. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do Social Security. No, you can't do that. He said, well, I guess I just better go ahead and pack the Supreme
He
Court.
did, but they stopped him though. That one
No,
didn't.
no, no. They stopped saying no to him all the time,
Well,
so he didn't have to do it.
yeah, I mean, he got things through, but that the time when he tried to pack the court, that was one of the not so good because then everyone pushed back and it didn't work out as well. But yeah, no, I mean, he look the people like FDR, Teddy, Lincoln. These are real people. These are people that they have a brain in their head and they're thinking of the public. They're not thinking just of themselves. Right now, you have a complete idiot who's well, no, I mean, seriously, I mean, anybody that says to you, you meet a person anywhere, any place who says to you, I'm really smart and I have a really high IQ, immediately suspect that they probably have the opposite of what they're telling you because a person with a high IQ never says that. That's the whole
No,
point. So, and then
actually, people with high IQ say less.
they say less. And also, this guy is mean spirited at every turn. I mean, what kind of person is, because of, oh, I'm embarrassed that they found out that the reflecting pool was all made up because I made it up. I'm embarrassed. So I'm going to make this guy's life, some canoeist who happened to be wandering by on his bike. I mean, what kind of person does that?
I know, and ruin his life and cause him to pay all this money. This guy's going to get money from the government. I'm telling you
Yeah,
right now.
right. Yeah, of course. But in a way, it won't matter much. I mean, it's a small event among many, but it's very revealing, as to what's going
Yeah.
on, and um, it's just like you often see, things stacking. Some even become like the thing that I was saying about the election in Wisconsin that we just saw. That almost seemed like a lucky break. We caught a break, but it just adds another peg in the way things are turning out for these guys, which is what you want, right? That's
Right,
the key.
exactly.
Exactly.
Do
Yeah.
you think there's a separation with the Democrats because of uh, the ones? But you
The,
know what they said about that Kong or whatever her name is? They said AOC and Bernie never came out on her side.
no, well, no, and they have like they have certain categories like the really more the DSA group, um, and then they have the ones that are a little still left, but they're more like Bernie will maybe Bernie and AOC will endorse you, and then you go more to the moderate level. But you saw what happened in Michigan. Al Sayed he's pretty out there. Like for instance, he said we should have Medicare for all and we should get rid of the filibuster. My feeling is that he's probably going to tone down some of
He'll
that.
tone it down.
He'll tone it down. But the person he was running against immediately said, no, 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 we're a team. We're getting it together. And so did the woman in Wisconsin immediately. Even though she had good reason to say, hey, I think maybe there was cheating. I mean, how did I get beat by this guy at the last minute? Immediately conceded, right? What about the pillow guy? The pillow guy is running in a Republican thing, and he's now saying that the Republican thing is rigged against him, and he won't accept it because there are irregularities. To which I saw someone say, "Irregularities? Are you sure you're not talking about your bowels?" I mean,
So
it's
what
so
do you feel anything on this with him? Does he stop anything because he doesn't concede?
who?
The pillow guy.
No, the pillow guy. Are you kidding? Yeah, he lost by 11 points. Come on, be serious. No, I mean, and even the elections. If you're down by 700 votes, right? Let's say that you lost by 700 votes. Most of the time, that's not going to work for you. They'll recount it 10 times and they'll tell you, well, it wasn't 700, it was 696 or it was 703. The best bet is win by some amount, right? And if you're down 10 points, the gap is too big. It's got no chance.
Yeah.
So it's an embarrassment to him. And Trump endorsed him, though.
Right.
It's amazing to me that Trump would endorse the pillow guy and he had trouble endorsing Cornyn. I don't get it. I don't get the logic. Like how he doesn't he know he often endorses people that I wouldn't endorse him because I'd be thinking, this is going to look bad. I mean, remember the guy in Georgia, the football player. What was his name?
Oh yeah, I remember.
That guy has trouble putting a sentence together.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be in politics at all. So endorsed him, and then the guy's still around, right? Type thing. But
He
you
even
know,
had a fake badge, a little kid's badge.
yeah, exactly. So which is the other thing too with Trump is the all these things coalescing now, like they did in the first term, is this thing where remember in the first term, because the health planet is also connected to the people in his chart, it connects to the people that are his servants, his helpers. So in the first term, he got COVID himself, and the bigger problem he ran into is that the health of the country became an issue, and that's really the thing that hurt him the most because he looked so crazy. But then all the people started to betray him too. You got more and more people that left. Same thing is going to happen now as well. You're seeing it slowly
Right.
but surely more betrayals, like what you said Levitt did, because Levitt realized, hey, I think maybe you're trying to kill me here. The
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, with the chart for the United States, is there anything you want to tell us? Is there anything we should know?
The
We
chart
got
for the
through
U.S.
July. I can't believe it. They were talking about July being pretty tough.
July, like the one we just went through.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it was. July
yeah,
was what was tough about July was it's when the war restarted.
that's true. That's
That
true.
was the key thing, which totally cemented that July revealed that the U.S. in a sense has lost the war. That they can't quite control. So that's
Okay.
what that's what made it bad. Yeah. But now, if you think bigger picture, the thing with the U.S. chart, what is most difficult and hard to accept, but it's just what it is that there are patterns here that are exactly like the Civil War in 1865. In fact, if you look at the Civil War in 65, it lasted exactly 4 years, pretty much, right? And the entry point of the Neptune was exactly when Trump was sworn in. So we gotta go, this is like a sort of a replica. And to me, everything is moving in that direction because he's making it happen. He's doing things so badly that you help elect the other party.
Yeah.
Right. But in the meantime, you can be in the middle thinking, well, what if maybe not? Maybe they're gonna put us all in jail. I don't see that. I see it improving, but people remaining nervous. Just stick it out, and I mean, back then, people had more reason to be nervous in the sense that mothers were losing their children in the war, literally. That was one of the conflicts that Lincoln ran into because when he married his wife, I think she had a child from the previous, or she lost a child. She was very distraught, and then she didn't want their kid to go to war, but the kid wanted to join the army, and Lincoln thought, well, whatever he wants to do, but she said, no, 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 you must stop him because she didn't want to lose another child. So this was a real thing going on. It's not happening today. Today it's a cold, civil war between two different parts of the country, a big disagreement about what is happening, And so, but the length of time, we're in it. We're in it and we got to get through it. You can't expect a unicorn to come from the
A
sky.
lot of changes coming too. Yeah. But
Yeah,
good
yeah.
changes.
Yeah, because that's another thing which we know in human nature. We've seen it before so many times. When does change happen? When really bad things happen, then people think, okay, well, we can't allow this. So let's make a rule. Like, for example, maybe they pass a rule, politicians have to show their taxes, or they're not allowed to, you're
Oh,
not
yeah.
allowed to,
They have to pass a competency test or something.
yeah,
They
something.
can't
And,
be
and
felons. That's a simple one.
I mean, I'm completely stunned. The thing with Trump's method is if you're in charge and you commit so many crimes, you can't even you start pointing to one and you go, yeah, but that's only one. There's this other one, like the one that he did where he's saying, give me 100,000 and I'll tell you in advance. This is like nuts. It's completely nuts. I'm amazed that the whole world doesn't stop and you say, no, 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 you can't do
They
this.
are
Like
talking about it on the news.
this has to be, it is like saying open criminality. It's what they
Yeah.
put.
And also, by the way, he's pocketed it into his own pocket.
Oh, of course, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, of course, yeah. I constantly marvel at there's a house in astrology where the high end is the one that what reflects why you're both a psychic and you were a nurse. That's the 12th house, right? Because the 12th house, place of hospitals, healing, and I mean hospitals. They're not a good place to go to, but they're a good place to go to if your life is saved, right? It's where you go to get
Right.
healed.
Right.
Monastery, you go to get illuminated. It's all good. The bottom end of that is the prisons, right? All the criminals are there too, because it's the same sequestration thing. It's pretty obvious which part of the house this guy is playing from. Pretty obvious. All he ever wants to do is break laws, do things that go counter to what we all agree on. So he's like, it's amazing that we made the worst criminal the president. That's the truth. That's
Right.
exactly it. Because who would suggest something like this openly, right? And
Exactly.
apparently, already the last time I read, there were 12 people that paid the 100 grand already.
What?
Yeah, right. So that now,
Do you think it's media?
what do you mean?
Like, is it MSNBC or do you think it's media that
Oh,
paid
I
this?
don't know. I don't know, but whoever it is, no, I suspect it's probably people that they're the way they're thinking is I can buy I pay him 100, then I can invest 500 and make a quick million. No, I mean it's a great deal.
Okay.
If someone tells you I'm about to make an announcement, whatever it is that will cause the oil to spike or the oil to drop, you just play it. So if you have enough money in the bank, 100,000 is chump change. You just take another piece of money, put it in, make a quick dollar. Nobody knows anything happened. Like, how is it that
Exactly.
this person knew? But this is what they put you in jail for. For regular citizens, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to, for instance, say you work for a pharmaceutical company. You can't make a phone call even to your family and say to them, you should buy the stock, because it's about to go up. If they catch you, you could be in a lot of trouble, right? It's
Huge
against the
trouble.
law. And for the president to do it, and to do it like big money, I mean, you got to pay me 100,000, and then it's like the mafia. Literally, they come by and they go, you got to give us
I
some
think
money,
he's
or
going to get
otherwise
shut down on that. I don't know why I feel that, but that's what I'm feeling.
that's going to get shut down. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
probably, yeah,
gonna,
because it's so blatant. I mean, my feeling is what will happen is this is the other thing about a system with so many lawyers. When you make these moves, someone sues, and then it ends up in court, and it's so blatant that probably the judge will go, "No, you can't do this," and then they'll go to the Supreme Court, and they'll also say, "You can't. This is too, it's too much." So then you'll have to
right,
stop.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So,
All right, my friend. Well, I can't believe we took a lot of time. That was great.
yeah. Well, we covered a lot of ground, but now we'll see what comes next, right? Because, like you said, 82 days, right? So
82 days.
yeah, yeah, and we can start talking about soon about that soon. I what I encourage people to do, by the way, they've heard me say this before, but and maybe you listen to her too. The person that I uh, tune into regularly, who has the best take on what is going on, is Heather Cox Richardson, the
Oh, she's
historian.
wonderful.
She
Yeah.
is very, very good, and she distills, not just to put it for you in historical context. She'll tell you, no, this is going on, and this is what I think it is. And I nearly always say, yeah, that's exactly how I saw it. And and then the proof is that it turns out to be like that. Otherwise, then you're just guessing. So she's someone good to track. And a while back, she was pretty alarmed. She's pretty optimistic. So tune into that.
That's why I like
Yeah.
her. She thinks he's going down for sure.
Yeah. Yes. And so do you, and so do I. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
going down. It's just that, I mean, I wish I could tell you it's tomorrow, but I actually hope that this guy, the longer he hangs on, in a way, the better. Because, see, one of the things about JD is that he's a lot smarter than Trump. And if Trump disappears and JD is made president, he'll pivot really hard and start doing things in a better way to try to become president
Save
of the
them
28.
to
It won't
save
be
him.
enough. It won't be enough, but it'll scare you because you'll think, oh, now they're actually
Do
doing
you
things
think he'd actually pardon Trump?
possibly, but I don't, in a way, I don't care. The main thing with JD is that when I look at his 28 chart,
Okay.
no way. It's not going to happen. So then I think, do whatever you like, get in
Well, I
there.
think there's so many things that'll come back on Trump with that he
Oh,
can't be saved.
yeah, this guy, anything you get close to Trump, you're finished. That's
That's
what's
it.
going to happen to you. So,
Yeah.
all right, we'll stop there.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
We'll
you
see you
guys.
soon.